solidarity. We plan to do this, and we would do this for any people who are fighting against American imperialism.
I've heard several comments from people that was talking about with the people, for the people, and by the people. Being a black woman from Mississippi, I've learned that long ago that's not true. It's with a handful, for a handful, by a handful. But we're going to change that, baby. We're going to change that because we're going to make democracy a reality for all of the people of this country.
And I say that that is a great need now for a radical reordering of priorities in America, and that is a great need for a revolution of values.
We've got some difficult days ahead, but it really doesn't matter with me now because I've been to the mountaintop. I don't mind. Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place, but I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And He's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
And then a man with a rifle blew his head open. And from the apartments and the ghettos and slums of America, and all the places he'd been, you can put it on a map, and the places that Dr. King had been is where they came out in rage and bitterness that this could happen to this non-violent prophet of social change, committed, driven to create social change, to achieve social justice for all the people in the society and in the world.
if they went, if they thought black men should be killed.
I was just driving into Marlon Brando's house up in Beverly Hills. He was lying on the bed when I went in, and I said, have you heard the news? He says, what's that? I said, Martin Luther King was just shot and dead. Marlon didn't say much. He's as though he was in one of his movie roles. He got up very silently and said, so King is dead. And he went into the telephone and called up the Panther office in San Francisco. Meanwhile, I told his secretary to call the gun shop and order up a number of pistols, rifles, and so forth and so on. I said, Marlon, what are you going to do with those? He said, I'm going to shoot my way all the way to Washington, D.C.
Martin Luther King, I think he was killed, just had a plain hatred, a racial hatred.
Hoover hated Martin Luther King. I mean, it's just that simple. And he wanted Martin Luther King destroyed because he felt that he might be a messiah for the black people.
The CIA, the DIA, and others, we still don't know all of the dynamics because we're just finding out now about the military intelligence.
Our brother Martin Luther King exhausted a means of nonviolence with his life being taken by some racists. What is being done to us is what we hate, and what happened to Martin Luther King is what we hate. You darn right. We respect nonviolence. But nonviolence on the part of who? On the part of racists in this country, on the part of the racists who've infested the police department, who are organized and maintained by the power structure. We want nonviolence, just like Martin Luther King. But to sit and watch ourselves to be slaughtered, like our brother, like Huey was shot, etc., we must defend ourselves, as Malcolm X said, by any means necessary.
2 days later, they murdered Bobby Hutton in the shootout that had happened 2 days after Martin Luther King.
About 50 police were shooting into this one house for 90 minutes. And they didn't know who was inside. They threw in tear gas canisters to force the people to come out. The tear gas canister, one of them exploded and caught on fire. So this was a burning basement. Eldridge and Bobby Hutton were the only people in that basement, actually. Eldridge told Bobby Hutton to take off all his clothes because when he went out, if he was naked, the police would be shocked and they wouldn't shoot him. But he was embarrassed, and he only took off his shirt. So when he came out with just pants, he was immediately shot by 7 or 8 policemen and killed.
Bobby Hutton was 17 years old. He was a Black Panther. He'd been a Black Panther. He was one of the original founders of the Black Panther Party.
This was not a police action. It was a search and destroy mission. It was very clear that it was about killing, that the police intended to kill Panthers.
That could have been my son lying there. And I'm going to do as much as I can. I'm going to start right now.
What happened for the party after that was a tremendous upsurge in community support. People gave lots of money, gave lots of time. They could see all the things the Panthers were saying were actually true.
The fact is that some of our fellow citizens have turned against our society and turned against our government. People perhaps that you do not see, people that perhaps you do not come in contact with. Only 40% of the men that live in the ghetto have jobs that pay more than $60 a week. How can you support a family? How can you bring up children in dignity?
Robert Kennedy is the only man on the current political structure that can do the job that we need done.
Is there a second choice?
There is no second choice as far as we're concerned.
Now let's go on to Chicago and let's win there.
Kennedy has been shot. Is that possible? Is that possible? It could. Is it possible, ladies and gentlemen? It is possible. He has not only Senator Kennedy. Oh my God! Senator Kennedy has been shot, and another man, a Kennedy campaign manager, and possibly shot in the head. I am right here. Rayford Johnson has a hold of a man who apparently